think we can all say that we've had those nights where you get 7, 8, 9, sometimes even 10 hours of sleep and you wake up completely exhausted. You just feel off, brain fog, you can't think straight. You just drag all day long. And that leads into this week's energy enhancer, which is number 4, and that is adequate rest, relaxation, and sleep. And what does that mean? I think it's pretty self-explanatory to most people, but I think most people, even though they understand what it means, don't get it right, including myself sometimes. I've had a couple rough nights in the last couple months with not sleeping properly or long enough or deep enough, and you just feel off. I feel brain fog. I feel like the energy level is low. So leading into what is adequate rest, relaxation, and sleep from a natural health perspective, that is securing adequate sleep nightly is far and above the number one means of restoring and rebuilding your nerve energy levels. I think in this day and age, we have a lot of distractions. I know I'm guilty of it sometimes, and my wife as well, where we keep something on too late at night, whether that's a phone or a tablet. That blue light and that engagement into that electronic device and what's going on, what you're watching, listening to, really messes with your circadian rhythm, which I think most people understand what that is, but humans are designed to go off of light to wake and to sleep. So at nighttime, once the sun starts setting, you'll start going into a mode where you start to go into a rest and relaxation mode, preparing for the nightly sleep and restoration. And then in the morning, when that sun starts coming up and that natural light is starting to increase, it'll start to wake you and make you a little more active. Other means of restoring your nerve energy besides sleep are through rest, fasting, and quiet time of meditation or prayer, whatever your beliefs are in. Natural health rule of thumb is the more toxic the person, the more sleep you need. So if you're a less toxic person, the less sleep you'll need. And that doesn't mean you can avoid sleep or party one night and just, pound caffeine and alcohol and all this stuff and then sleep more other nights. You got to have a good balance there. And another thing is true health is elusive when you burn the midnight oil. Like we've all heard that saying, burning the midnight oil, staying up too late, or you burn your candle from both ends. You're doing too much. You're staying up too late. You're getting up too late. You're getting up too early, going to bed too late. Again, securing adequate sleep is far and above the number one way to restore your nerve energy and your energy levels and your overall well-being. Finding time during the day to get into the rest and relaxation part of this, to actually relax and rest, is really hard in this day and age. Everything's really fast paced, go, go, go. You might not have a job where you can actually take breaks or take a long enough break to actually relax because you're just in that environment the whole time. So we have what I call and natural health calls the standard Western American R&R, rest and relaxation, which is, put on a streaming service, grab a beverage from one of the fast food places and, drink and just have your mind still engaged and just stressed. If you're watching like a horror movie or, if you're watching something like dramatic, you're not resting, you're not relaxing, you're still draining your nerve energy and your overall well-being. So hygienic R&R, rest and relaxation, involves finding a safe, calm, quiet place where you can still the body, get into a comfortable position, close the eyes, and just rest. Clear the mind of all exciting or stressful thoughts and just rest in that position with your eyes closed for 5 to 15 minutes, whatever you can fit in. Even a little bit will actually help you. And then the other thing, which some people call it a cat nap, some people call it a siesta, but finding time in the day, and I'm guilty of not doing this as much as I should, finding time to take a nap, cat nap, siesta, whatever you want to call it, 5, 10, 15 minutes, even that little bit will help. Some people take 30 minutes, some people take 60 minutes. I used to work at a job where a couple of the guys would literally take siestas, and they would just go to their work trucks and they would sleep. They'd eat and then take the rest of the break, 20, 25 minutes, and they would sleep. I wanted to also say, if you're going to take a cat nap or a siesta, the circadian rhythms really rely on you taking that nap. That's why a siesta is midday. You don't want to take a nap, cat nap, siesta too late in the day, because that's really going to throw off your rhythm and you're going to have a hard time falling asleep at night. And the other thing is, if you struggle to fall asleep, a lot of people don't realize you might not have the energy to fall asleep. So we really need to work on restoring through relaxation and rest, getting enough energy to actually fall asleep. So if you can't fall asleep, then you really need to look at the relaxation and the hygienic R&R, the rest and relaxation, finding that quiet place, safe place where you can still the body, where you can get in a comfortable position, and you can close your eyes for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and help restore some of that energy so that you have enough energy to actually fall asleep later when that sun goes down. That's very important to help restore your nerve energy levels, your energy, and your overall well-being. If you suffer from brain fog, low energy, just feeling off, you might have illnesses, you might have mental health issues, one of the first things I would tell you to do is focus on getting true, adequate sleep, rest, and relaxation. And again, I want to repeat that nerve energy is restored when we sleep, relax, and rest. And fasting is another way, but that's a whole nother topic to be done safely. And then again, adequate sleep, relaxation, and rest supply the ideal conditions to enhance bodily detoxification. Because if you're not sleeping, I don't know if everybody knows this, but through the night, every system in your body, your liver has a time, your brain has a time, your stomach has, everything has a time through the night when you're supposed to be sleeping, where it does its cleaning and restoration process. So if you're not sleeping, it's not happening. And that's sad, because a lot of people just struggle and they want to grab some caffeine, chug a coffee, chug an energy drink, and then it's a snowball. It just gets worse and worse. And that takes you back. You've got to look at your sleep, your rest, and your relaxation. So again, number 4, nerve energy enhancer for this week is adequate rest, relaxation, and sleep. Please like and share this if it helped you or if you think it might help somebody else. Check out our other videos. Angie has a whole series on mental health. And if you're interested in booking a session with myself for lifestyle and nerve energy foundations, you can book that on our website. You can also book mental health services with Angie in Colorado. And I'll put that link in the description below. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.